yesterday's price is not today's price.
What's up, everybody? Yesterday's price is not today's price. This is why we do this show here. Welcome to another episode of the Bad Boy Nerd F.O.C. Top 10 Countdown Show. This is for the week ending March 16th, 2024. I always do it on a Saturday. The actual industry F.O.C. cutoff dates are on Sundays and Mondays. We do it on Saturdays because I want to give people enough time to get in your orders. Once you see my top 10 list, if you're watching this show live every Thursday, 7:15 Central Time, or if you're listening to it in your car, if you watch it later, you could do that as well every Thursday evening. Or you could just wait until I unveil the entire list every Friday morning or early afternoon. Friday is a fresh list. If you follow me on Instagram, look right there underneath my name. You can follow me at The Bad Boy Nerd. Follow me on Instagram every Friday. You can see all of my top 10 lists for every single week. As a matter of fact, I will go ahead and show you one of these lists. The list that I put up every week has a full display and it has full details. So you can take your time and go through the photos, and then you can also, I always leave notes to show why I made those picks. And also, these are the receipts. These are the receipts that show when I did the pick, which picks I made, and why I picked them. So we'll just do a quick example. The first F.O.C. list was right here of the year. The week ending January 6th, this was the first list. And then I do it countdown style. So when you scroll through, it starts at number 10 and it counts down. This was a weird week because Instagram pulled one of my photos. I don't know why, but 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And then you can see the different picks right there. And number one pick that week for the beginning of the year was the Dungeons and Dragons. And then right here, if you look over to the side, I give a fully detailed explanation of why I made those picks. And if you're wondering, if this is your first time, I always say this every episode, if this is your first time watching this show and you're wondering, what is this all about with F.O.C. Top 10? Well, what we like to do is we call this, and I call this the no FOMO zone, fear of missing out. We don't do that here. Why? Because for 3 years straight, I've been cranking out list after list, giving my top 10 recommendations. And twice a year, at the middle of the year and at the end of the year, I give a market update to show how all of my different picks, how they performed in the market, in the aftermarket. Now, granted, if you watched one of my episodes last year, all right, we used a baseball analogy talking about how there are a lot of singles and a lot of doubles. They're all, great covers and all that. But at least once or twice a month, there's a home run. And home run being a book that catches fire in the aftermarket and it ends up on someone else's top 10 hot list. I wonder who that could be. If you watched the last show, we actually took a visit over to our friends to check out their hot top 10. Lo and behold, four of their top 10 books came off of my F.O.C. top 10 list. Four of them. And the forward out of their 10 books, I want to say 5 or 6 were modern. The other half of the list was throwback. So out of the modern books, 4 of the hot 10 books actually appeared on my F.O.C. list. So this is why we do this show. This is the no FOMO zone. All right. I put together a list every Thursday, every week. We showcase it live. So if you're here watching live, thank you for watching. Always appreciate everyone in what I call the trenches down in the comment section. If you'd like to hang out live and interact, that's fun, or you can watch this later at your leisure. But we got a great show for y'all today. This is actually a really good show. If you saw the thumbnail, it said that these are some books that I think are going to pop. So real quick, and also we have a special guest making a cameo appearance in this issue of the Bad Boy Nerd Top 10 FOC show. He's one of our favorite. You could either call him a superhero or a supervillain, but he's an incredibly powerful player in the comic book industry, and we're going to welcome him back as always. We'll try to see if we can get some new characters to make an appearance in one of these issues. But today, what we're going to do is, first of all, happy new comic book day to everyone out there. So what we're going to do real quick, we're going to go over some of the books that appeared on previous top 10 lists. And they are obviously here on my desk because, yeah, when I put together a list, I actually go and I pre-order the books that I want. I share that information with you guys. So just real quick, I know if you follow me on Instagram, you'll recognize this cover right here. Absolutely amazing cover. I remember this was pick number 10 because this was the cover of this week, this Colossus cover. Just dramatic, totally signifies what Colossus is all about. This cover is just pure, represents pure power. I love that one. Pre-ordered it. Another hot book. This one's really hot. If you haven't read it, you should. This is an amazing story. Ultimate Black Panther #1, second print. Absolutely love it. Especially when second prints have brand new artwork. I'm a huge fan of that. This was either a top one. I think this was either pick #1 or pick #2, but this is a very high pick. What if Venom took over Wolverine? When Venom first surfaced in the in the Marvel Universe. Now, this is an interesting story because it starts with the church scene where Eddie Brock first met Venom, but different heroes interfered. So Venom took his time trying out new heroes. And one of them that he tangled with was Wolverine. And that is an excellent story. I think books like these have a lot of future potential in them. Anytime they introduce a what if scenario, there's always potential for something more to take place. Case in point, Modern was Wolverine 36. Wasn't exactly a what if, but it was Wolverine teaming up with Ghost Rider to form Helverine. I did tell you guys to go get that one. That one's on fire. Beautiful cover right here. Adam Hughes, awesome cover. I love this cover right here. Adam Hughes with Hawkeye and Black Widow. I love covers that have captions. Please bring these back, and not just for variants. Bring them back and make them a part of our lives. Getting to the end, this was one that I was really excited about. Avengers Twilight, besides the hype, besides the hot market, this is actually a really good kind of end world, end game type story taking place in an alternate future where the Avengers are actually do you remember the sequence of Civil War, how that all went down in Stamford, Connecticut? Similar to that, it was a scenario where the Avengers had an accident where a lot of civilians died. They were disassembled, and the government took over, desanctioned all of their heroes, and formed their own team. And this takes place in the future. Beautiful Alex Ross cover. Gorgeous Daniel Acuna variant. Absolutely love them both. That was one of my high top 10 picks. And last but definitely not least, this was a #1 pick for me. Hopefully you guys went out and got a copy, got it pre-ordered. Plenty out there. Ghost Rider, Final Vengeance. Great story. If you haven't read it, spoiler alert coming up. Zarathos, the actual demon, the spirit itself, basically forsaken Johnny Blaze, goes out to find a new host. And his new host, I mean, cat's out the bag, is none other than the Hood. So now you have a spirit of vengeance with a guy who can give 0 Fs. And that's our new Ghost Rider. I'm very excited about that. I have multiple copies of this, a lot of potential in that. Hopefully you guys went out and got some nice, minty, fresh copies for yourself. But those were my pickups for new comic books. I did go out and grab this right here. This is called The Agent. It's from Ablaze Comics. Great story, great premise. Kind of flew under the radar. Absolutely love the story. Love the artwork. My my speculation, Spider Sense tells me that this is a good book to be optioned. I'm pretty keen about these type of things. I read the story. It kind of reads like a screenplay, a nice sci-fi crime thriller, little fantasy crime thriller. Very clean, very direct story with a strong feminine female heroine character. And yeah, I went and grabbed this, grabbed a version of number one. They're still out there, number ones. I don't have any kind of information. Don't quote me on anything. But every once in a while, I'll read a book and I'm like, you know what? I can totally see someone buying the rights to that book. I think I said it last year or 2 years ago about the book written by the Hollywood actress, Hannah Rose May. And she wrote that book, Rogues Gallery. And I remember saying, this reads like a movie done by Brian K. Vaughan, the guy that did Kick Ass. Lo and behold, it got optioned. I have a nose for these things. But anyway, we're going to do something real quick, but we're going to bring on our guest, special guest, making an appearance in this issue. He is the comic book paper sorcerer supreme. He is none other than the one and only Dr. Paul. Dr. Paul, are you there? Are you with us?
I'm here. I've been here. I've been watching the show.
Oh, that's great, man. How's
How
you?
you doing, Jacob?
You're watching from the green room.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish there
Welcome,
were
man.
some like other guest stars back here, maybe some starlets from Hollywood or something, but it's just me.
You know, speaking of starlets, I'm a huge fan of Hannah Rose May. Hannah May Rose. It's one of those two. We'll get it right. I'm a fan of hers, and I would love to get her on the show one day. This little old show that a handful of people watch. Imagine that.
Why not?
Oh, I know. Trust me. I listen. I'm totally down with getting the biggest name to come hang out. This kind of has that old school Wayne's World feel to it. Just filming from your living room. Has a nice little cult following. That's right. Those who know, all the true ones that hang out with us. But no, actually it's funny because I sent her I sent her a text, a message openly in public on Instagram,
Mhm.
and she responded.
Yeah.
And she's got a great sense of humor. She's an excellent person. And I was like, "Hey, I would love to have you as a co-host or a guest host on the show." I was
Mhm.
like, "I can't pay you, Hannah Rose May." I was like, "I can't pay you,
Mhm.
but we can work something out." And she was like, "Pay me in cookies." I was like, "See," I was like, "That's why you're awesome." That right there,
That's the SAG minimum is cookies.
cookies, right? I
Yeah.
want to get Hannah Rose May on this show one time at least. I want to get, oh my God, my favorite writer, executive producer, showrunner. I believe he is a comic book writer. I want to get Rodney Barnes on the show. If we can pull that off, that'd be excellent. So I'm going to tag him, Rodney Barnes, Mr. Barnes, you of the Boondocks, you of Philadelphia, you of Blackula, you of Winning Time, the phenomenal HBO series. Sir, I'm going to tag you on this video. I'm going to put this on a short reel. Hopefully we can have you drop in and show this little show some love one of these days. That'll be
Why
great.
not?
Absolutely. So, Dr. Paul, before we get to you, I want to do a quick segment. Um, so the news came out recently about 8 billion genies. They're going to go full steam ahead. And I think they're going to start that universe with a movie. And then I think
Wow.
the movie, they're going to move into maybe a streaming series. But with that being said, what I wanted to do was talk about some of the books that I've have recently that were F.O.C. top 10 picks that have been optioned or should be optioned or will be optioned. And Dr. Paul, I'm going to tell people they should go out and take a look. I'm not going to ever tell someone what to buy, but
Right.
you should definitely Go take a look.
You should buy what you like, but you should look at all the stuff J Dub's recommending.
With that being said, anyone who bought Wolverine 36 and a couple of copies, Helverine, you're welcome. Could have made a nice flip on that. I made a few flips. When I do flips, that's what funds my enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, first up, Charles Soule, one of my favorite writers. He writes Star Wars. He wrote 8 Billion Genies, right? He writes Star Wars novels. I believe he wrote for Star Wars The High Republic. He's one of my favorite writers.
Mm.
He wrote a book called Hell to Pay. Could not find my copies because they're buried in one of my long boxes. But the follow up of Hell to Pay is part of a larger series called The Shrouded College. This slipped under my radar. This is called The Bloody Dozen. And I'm not going to go into detail, all right? But it's written by Charles Soule. And this is part of The Shrouded College. The Shrouded College, as a series, Dr. Paul, was optioned to be turned into a streaming series by none other than Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, without that knowledge, Hell to Pay was one of my picks because I absolutely love Charles Soule. I'm going to tag him on this as well. And I loved the premise and the artwork of that story. And then just like a month later, the news came out that Seth bought the rights to the story of the Shrouded College. And that's going to go full steam ahead. So look for these on the shelf, but there are very few out there. This is a pretty low print book. The Bloody Dozen. It's part of the Shrouded College universe. Hell to Pay.
Like an actual school, the Shrouded College?
So let me, in a nutshell, the Shrouded College is this arcane magic type of world that operates completely under the radar, but they work with as a shadow government, and they've worked throughout history of American history and world history. And they do some shenanigans.
That sounds
And
cool.
they work, they only work for their favor. And the catch is they find individuals to do their dirty work, and they grant these individuals powers with a caveat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a deal with the devil,
Sure.
and it's all based on what they want for their own little favor. But yeah, it's a very entertaining series.
Cool.
Yeah. So next up, this just made the news recently. I actually have several copies of Knights of the Cadillacs. All right.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of my picks. I want to say 2 years ago, going back to 2022, I think. But it was it's kind of a cross between the Lost Boys, and this is going to really throw people. If you got to be old enough, you got to be Generation X to understand this reference. It's like the Lost Boys mixed with Streets of Fire. Streets of Fire was an 80s kind of street classic fantasy movie. You probably didn't see it, just like you didn't see The Warriors, but
Right, man.
okay.
No,
I have a reference you might get. Have you ever watched Sin City?
Of course.
Okay. So this is a little bit of the Lost Boys from the 1980s and a little bit of Sin City. It's a little bit of that. That's a great combination. Yeah. Scout Comics, almost micro print, ultra low prints. Scout usually only prints about 1,500 copies total. So most stores only had a handful of these. One of my big box stores here in Austin, they usually order 10 copies just so they can unlock the 1-in-10 ratio. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, 2 of those copies belong to me as pre-orders. And so I usually grab the 1-in-10 ratios as well. But yeah, Scout rarely has 1 in 25s. They usually do 1 in 10s. But yeah, you can still, pretty sure you can still find these retail price. Scout comics are great, great products.
Yeah.
They all come with card stock. Even at $3.99, what this price was, they come with great card stock. All right. And last but not least, folks, I've shown this book before. Now, Dr. Paul, you know this as well as anyone else, even though your area is Golden Age comics. But overall, yes, sir, right there above that chrome dome right there. Overall, um, the market is pretty soft. So when I show this book right now, you can still find maybe not this book because there's only about 15 of these on the census, the last I checked. But you should, in my opinion, take a nice hard look at the market and do your due diligence to grab up some first prints number ones. Strange Academy, all right, in my opinion, has the most potential of all
Hmm.
the new series. All right. Now, what you're looking at here is the very hard to find 1 in 50 Breakfast Club homage variant. And this one is 9.8 signed by Scotty Young.
Hmm.
Um, there, there were less than
That's a
20.
beauty.
Oh, it's amazing. I actually bought this one like directly after the pandemic. I paid a good price for it, and it has since doubled since I bought it.
Wow.
But you can find ungraded, not signed, but ungraded of this 1 in 50. You can still find these at a decent price because the market is soft right now.
Oh yeah.
But
Mm. The
I
other nice
show this
thing about
because
that book, sorry for the interruption,
go
there's
ahead.
like 16 variants or something like that. Some of them are store variants, very low print runs, lots of options. If you're interested in just putting a little bit of money in that book for fun, it's because, like you say, Jay, it's not that expensive. It's like an option. There's so many cool variants. You can find one that really appeals to you, and just get a couple copies and stick them away. I have some.
I tell you what, at its height, and you see I got it. I bubble wrapped it. At its height, Strange Academy, I think it made it all the way up to 7 prints, and all of those printings sold for multiples.
Oh
Sold for
yeah.
multiples. It's a very hot property. The adaptation, whenever they get around to it, is going to be phenomenal. Great characters, and anyone who reads modern comic books, they know that everybody does a crossover. Almost every character at some point ends up at the Strange Academy.
Yeah.
So there you go. Those are the books that I actually have. One more. It was the 8 Billion Genies, and I have several copies. 8 Billion Genies, the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I actually went out and bought 2 copies, got them graded, came back 9.8s.
Nice.
But then I went and bought up more because people started selling theirs off really cheap. So I was like, all right, I'll buy that one for
Yeah.
$250. It was a shout out to Bird City. It was a Bird City exclusive.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Definitely one of the best books I own. Absolutely love that cover. And the cool thing about it is because it's such a thick, hard stock cover, almost all but guaranteed to be a 9.8.
Nice.
Yeah, here it is. I'll just show the people real quick. So for me and my money, this is one of the hottest books you should try to get a hold of if you can. That right there. The 8 Billion Genies, number one, first printing, the Super Mario Brothers 3 variant. Charles Soule, there he is. Ryan Brown, excellent book. One of my favorite books in modern memory, recent memory. But yeah, the Bird City Comics exclusive, 500 copies total.
Wow.
And the CGC consensus is mostly 9.8s because these were an easy grade unless they were damaged. So yeah, man. Those are the books to look out for. So if you're watching this show, take notes. Night of the Cadillac. What does it say? I have one and shit. I've grabbed no notes. Oh God. Oh my goodness.
Was that
If
the
you had a
original ask?
chance, yeah, if you had a chance to grab that at 20, yeah, absolutely. But the market right now is depressed right now from its all-time high. A lot of those books are like
Mhm.
50% or lower from the
Especially
all-time high,
moderns.
especially moderns. So if
Moderns
you have
getting hit
extra
harder than
money,
anything else.
yeah, go hunting. Go hunting for sure. Go hunting. For me, I like this. I like the premise of that. I like probably one of the first times in history that the Spirit of Vengeance Ghost Rider is going to be a villain. One of the few times, and there's no more despicable villain than the Hood. He's just
Yeah.
deplorable.
Right.
Yeah. So, Dr. Paul,
What's that
before
doing
we
to
get,
his first appearance?
you know, I had, and we talked about this. I've gone through so many key books over the past 30 years. I had maybe two, maybe three copies of that Hood #1 from Marvel Max because I was all over Marvel Max. I just didn't
I love
think,
the Max series.
yeah, I didn't think twice about it. I just thought the Hood was a great character and
Hmm.
bought it off the rack, sold it for like $25 later. It's worth a lot more than that now.
You know what? I think the Max is a good place to buy books, speculate, invest maybe, because those are never going to be reprinted.
No.
They're not on Marvel's app because
Yeah, they
Disney
don't
owns
put
them.
those on Marvel's app.
So
Right.
you can't read it digitally.
Right.
Disney's never going to reprint that. I mean, have you seen that
No.
stuff? I know
Garth
you
was it
have.
was it Garth Ennis and Dylan, Steve
Some
Dillon, Punisher?
some some of that stuff is out there.
It really
That's
is.
never going to be reprinted, I don't think. The only place you can get it is back issues. That's
Back issue
pretty
bins.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Deadpool,
How about
some of the best Deadpools, Marvel Max.
the Luke Cage?
Oh God, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Down here in the trenches. Oh yeah, the foil. Yeah, I do have that as well. I just didn't show it, but yeah, that was fire. Just that final vengeance story was just I loved it. So I know, Dr. Paul, I know you don't read modern books, but basically the Spirit of Vengeance
No.
said a big F you middle finger to Johnny
Johnny Blaze,
Blaze.
Lefty.
And it just kind of jumps around the world. Like it's just like Lost. It's just jumping around the world trying to find that perfect host throughout the whole series, throughout the whole issue. And then it just decides like, oh, I feel this powerful tug. Oh, this is such a juicy host. Oh my God, how come I didn't think of this before? And then the Hood. And then all hell's about to break loose.
The Hood hosted a demon before in Civil War II or Civil War
Something like
One.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically a conduit for evil, the worst kind. So yeah, I'm just slobbering at the possibilities. And what's funny? Zatharos or whatever, the Spirit of Vengeance, his its actual power, it's not on a scale because it's just a powerful demon. So they don't usually when you look it up, like there's a power scale for Ghost Rider, but the demon itself, like its powers are like unknown, the scope of its powers.
Yeah.
So that with the Hood
Yeah.
and the Hood's hood,
Yeah.
my goodness.
That's good storytelling.
Oh yeah. All right. So what do you have on tap going on in your world?
Oh, we got so much going on. It's
Oh yeah.
unreal.
Hey,
I
I saw something. Did you ruin a book recently? What's that all about? Is that some good juicy clickbait?
I think people are going to have to tune in to find out.
Okay. I
So I
like
guess
that.
that makes it clickbait.
Tune in and find
um,
out, yeah. But
yeah,
what do you
so
now
go ahead.
what? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I have an ongoing series right now. We have a copy of Flash Comics number 20. So this is 1942,
Oh, good
pre-war.
Lord. Let's pull that
This
up.
is over 80 years old.
Good
I
God. Yeah,
bought
let's
it
take a
a
look at that.
long time ago, J-Dub, and I was less sophisticated then. Turns out It has some restoration on it.
When
It's
did
got
you
a
find out about that restoration?
Oh, I saw that a few years back and I thought, well, someday I'll get to it. Well, now's the day. So, this book here, it's actually presents really well. It's got white pages. It's got literally shiny staples. The staples look like they're brand new, especially on the inside. Like when you
Where did you
open the
find this?
centerfold, they're shiny. I bought it on eBay like 20 years ago. So
Nice.
when I bought it, it was represented as, unrestored, and I just wasn't very sophisticated at the time in terms of Golden Age books. And yeah, there's a rip on the back of the book that was glued back up. So I decided to finally tackle this book. And so it's getting a complete restoration, removal, and conservation on the channel. We have 3 videos up so far, and if as long as like my real life doesn't get in the way, we'll drop the 4th one tomorrow. And
Nice.
I did get some ink running off this during a deacidification bath that I did to prep the cover for the glue removal. But I will say this, these Golden Age books have a lot of ink to give. The ink is really thick. So you can have some ink run off it and still have some pretty good vibrant ink underneath. So I am worried a little bit, but I'm not. I don't think we're dead just yet. I think we still have a chance to pull this one out. So, like I said, we'll have to. One of the things about doing the work is once you wash it, I don't like to dry the page multiple times because each time you dry it, there's capillary action that'll pull some of the ink out. So I like to, once I get it wet, I do all the work at once. So this one's all in one sitting. You have to have a block of time blocked out, getting a wash and deacidification. Then we'll do the glue removal. And then we're going to do an archival tear seal to repair the tears that were glued up, as well as that spine split that you saw. So that's all happened at once, and then dry it out. So that's one thing we got going. Then the other thing we got going is we just started our own live show.
Man, the stuff you do with these books, it's like you're baptizing them.
That's true.
Deacidification, that's like 10 syllables.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
bathe these books. You put them down into their solution.
True. Well, look at it. It's pulp paper, right? Look how tan it is. It's pulp paper. It wasn't made to last. Pulp is specifically the cheapest kind of paper you can make. And the reason why they make newspapers and other periodicals out of it is they thought, well, this news is obsolete in a week or a month, right? So the paper doesn't need to last. So they found a way, but good paper is very expensive. If you made a newspaper out of good paper, it cost you $20. So they
I got
found
to
a
be
way to make
honest. This
really
book
cheap
held up
paper.
well for 80 years.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it's beautiful. Really, at the end of the day, the here, look at this Sheldon Moldoff Hawkman.
Mutton Jeff. Hawkman. Good Lord.
Mutt and Jeff was the second title of All American Comics, by the way.
Oh my God. Look at that Hawkman.
Isn't that great? That's classic Hawkman there.
I mean, we're looking
Actually,
at some pure comic book history, man.
here's what's crazy. Shiera Saunders is in this story. This is 1 month after the very first time she wore the costume as Hawkwoman. So in this
Wow.
story, she's actually just as herself in her civvies, but it's 1 month after her first appearance as Hawkgirl.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
this is
is
an
crazy.
early book. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then right
Sorry. So
here
what
on
do you
the
got to do?
bottom is
You
where you see
gotta, oh, look at that. Look at that back cover. Damn. Look at that.
yeah.
Look at that, man. Look at those colors. Seriously, man.
But this is where we have that
So how'd you find the glue? Did you go over it with a magnifying glass or did you give it
just
the touch?
once now that I have the eye, I saw it immediately when I did a walk through this book because I was thinking about conserving it because of the split spine on the bottom. And I always do a walkthrough before any conservation. And I saw it immediately, with the experience I have now. So It is what it is. You
God,
know, if you
look
buy
at,
enough books,
oh
you
my
get
God.
stuff like you buy books that have problems, from time to
Right,
time. It just
right.
is it's part of the game. And I could be upset about that, but I've had so many big wins that I just go, well, you got to take them in stride, right? Sometimes you buy a book for $5 and then you sell it for 1,500, and some other time you buy a book that you think is pristine and it happens to have some restoration and you have to deal with it. I bought this so long ago that I bought it really cheap. So
Hey,
I think
something,
if you let this go here, it's going to zoom in on this glue job, which is
absolutely.
on the bottom right.
While it's zooming in, I'm just gonna say that, oh, there it is right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Scientific wonders of the world. I'm just gonna say you're on the cusp of providing a great service to the entire comic book. I keep saying this, and folks out there who watch this show and watch you as a guest appearance in the issues of Bad Boy Nerd comic book show, you are on the cusp of a whole industry. Like you're at the cusp of it. You're at the beginning. This is going to explode, and you're at the forefront. I really truly believe that.
Well, it kind of has to. Like we said, this paper's not designed to last. Comic books are all going to be gone in 100 or 200 years unless we do something about it. If we just
You're
leave
so
them,
ahead of the curve right now.
yeah. So there you can see where the paper's just not quite aligned right. And then here's my conservation plan.
Oh, there it is. There's the plan.
Yeah.
Shit, let me go back. There's the plan right there. Look at the plan. Look at that. There's the plan. Look at
So
that.
we're
Preparation, assessment, disassemble, no disassemble, wet clean, phys- physical stability. Wow. Tear seals, reassembly and final. Dude, fucking
Yep.
sorcery, man.
So we're on
Sorcery.
we just wrapped episode 3. Like I said, episode 4 will go up soon. Episode 4 is going to have the glue removal and physical stabilization. So it'll have
Good
steps,
Lord.
second half of step 3 and all of step 4.
That is just mind blowing. Every like I said, I found your channel during the pandemic to get some pressing and cleaning techniques, and this is why we're friends today. But
Yeah.
it never ceases to amaze me. Every time I see it,
Well,
it's
thank you.
like my mind's blown all over again. That's incredible, man.
It is pretty cool.
Dr. Ball, man.
I have a lot of, I'm fortunate to be able to do what I do.
Yes, you
And the
are.
other
Yeah.
yeah, and then the other thing we have going on is I've this is one of the best part about it is actually meeting other people in the community. And through the channel, I've met a couple other guys who are super talented conservationists themselves. And we started our own live show. So we have a live show Sunday evenings at 8:30 Eastern. And we just did our episode 1 this past Sunday, and we'll have episode 2 this Sunday coming up. So we'll have to have you as a guest on there once we get our feet underneath us.
Yeah, everyone listening to this right now, follow Dr. Paul on Instagram. He's one of the great follows. He's in a class by himself. Very infotaining stuff he puts out there. Definitely worth the follow. I love having him on the show. He's a friend of the show by far. Sorcerer Comic Book Supreme, Dr. Paul. All right. Are you going to stick around? Are you
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
stick
Let's do the
around?
show. I'm going to find out what's going on.
All right.
I'm ready for
So
the game
yeah,
show.
you're dealing with conserving the history of comic books. And I am clear on the other side of the spectrum. I'm predicting the future of comic books. So I absolutely
That's
love this
right.
tandem. I love
That's right.
this.
We got
All right,
we got
folks.
both
Yes,
ends of
go
it.
ahead.
You go. It's your show, man. I can't wait. I'm ready.
Who's ready for this week's top 10? Who's here right now in the trenches? Who's ready for it? Who thinks they know what number one is? I love doing that when people are watching live. If you have any clue what you think number one is, put it in the comment section. But we're about to go ahead and get started. Bad Boy Nerd, F.O.C. top 10, countdown style. Okay, we start with number 10, go through them, work our way 10, 9, 8, 7 until we reveal the top 3, and then we find out who I picked for number 1.
Let's
Oh my God.
go.
Bruh, I am so excited for this week's list. Every time I put lists together, I'm a little skeptical. And then as
Mhm.
it fleshes out more and more, it becomes a holy shit moment. And then I have like a stack 15, 14,
Mhm.
13, and I flip some around and I put some in and I take it out. and I'm mulling over it and I'm contemplating and I'm second guessing myself and I'm sleeping on it. Then I'll see an article or someone will send me a message. Then I'll move some shit around. And then I'm like, you know what? I got to put this list together. Here's number 10. And here we go. Whew. Coming in at number 10. If you know me, you know we always start off with some cover fire. And this is some really good cover fire.
Ooh.
Coming in at number 10 this week, we have the Spectacular Spider-Man number 2. This is the 1 in 25 variant, and it is awesome. I absolutely love it.
Nice.
Yes, absolutely.
You
I
reading
know
this?
there's a lot of
Or
spectacular
has one even come out yet? Are we pre-ordering number 2 and one hasn't even come out yet? Or what is the timing on this?
One came out last week, and the
Okay.
1 in 25 was a David Nakayama cover, and it was pretty dope. Yeah.
You're reading this?
I am reading it. I did read it. I'm not collecting the whole series, but I do know a number of Miles Morales and Spectacular Spider-Man fans out there. So I kind of know who's who with reading this. I look at different people's pages, so I see what they pick up. People loved that Nakayama 1 in 25. I just love the dramatics of the webbing in this.
Yeah.
This really caught my eye.
This is cool. Mayhew.
Yeah. Absolutely. And as always, if you can track down a 1 in 25, pre-order it from your local comic shop. Sometimes people send me a message and they ask me, oh, where are you finding them? Guys, a lot of times if you pre-order from your shop, if you do it early enough, they'll go ahead and slide that ratio in your box. All right. They'll slide it in and either they'll give it to you at retail price or they'll slap it up on their wall. So try to get there early. Or I'm going to give you a hint. All right, Dr. Paul, I gave them a hint last week. You remember what I gave them, that early hint I gave them last week's episode? I told them to go ahead and pre-order the Action Comics 1065 Brainiac Queen. Do it now, okay? As always, you can always do an early pre-order for these ratios before they get big. And here you go. You're welcome. Coming in at number 9. Okay. So we talked about hot comic books that are the rights are being bought and they are being optioned. One of them is Knights of the Cadillac. Ones of people probably read this. This is a great series. The entire world of the Knight of the Cadillacs, the main villain, the main antagonist of the series is this guy by the name of Papa Duke, and this is his own little solo miniseries. So everything involved with Knight of the Cadillac is part of the storyline that's going to eventually be the screenplay that's going to eventually be the series that is going full steam ahead that's been optioned.
So you got to get all this so you know what's going on. So you have
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great read.
Detail.
That's right. And for anyone out there wondering, think The Lost Boys, that classic 1987 movie with Kiefer Sutherland and the two, what was the two Coreys? Think about that.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of Sin City, a little bit of that action going on. So it's kind of like that type of action.
Very cool.
Coming in at number 9.
Talk about Scout high quality production.
Scout has very low print, high quality. Everything they put out is card stock. If you get them graded, no less than 9.6. I mean, sharp corner, razor sharp corners, very, very strong spine integrity. So most of the stuff from Scout is going to grade 9.6 or higher. Coming in at number 8. This one here is fun. So if you guys are reading Immortal Thor, you know Al Ewing is doing a hell of a job. So Dr. Paul, Al Ewing's doing something very meta. All right. Within the pages of Immortal Thor, the Roxxon company has created their own Marvel universe. They want to rewrite the history of Thor to make him in their image. So within the pages of a comic book company is taking over the comic book, which is very cool. So this is Roxen Thor, which is adjacent to Immortal Thor.
Okay.
I thought that was so cool. And this is technically the first appearance, I guess, of a Roxen Thor,
Okay. And
as
this is the
imagined by
connecting
the Roxen
cover.
Corporation.
Yeah. And this is the connecting cover in the upper right from one of your picks from last week.
Yes, sir. You got that right. Yeah. Immortal Thor, I believe number 9, Roxen Thor, Bradshaw connecting variant connects those two together. So there you have that.
Cool.
So if you've watched the show, you've already put in your pre-order to get that connecting variant. And in that bottom, down there in that bottom right-hand corner is an absolutely fantabulous 1 in 50 variant. Let me see who that artist is real quick. I
Oh.
forgot the artist.
Were you the model for the
Granoff.
arms here?
Say again.
Were you the model for the arms here?
I would love to be. That's what I'm working towards. That's what I'm working towards. I need a hammer. That's what I'm working towards. Yeah, that Adi Granov 1 in 50 variant is
Mhm.
just delicious. Matter of fact, that deserves a larger. We got to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
that's pretty sick.
Yeah, look at this. I'm going to try to score this.
Nice.
Just bathe. Just
You said it's 1 in
just
50, huh?
1 in 50. Just bathed in lightning. Look at the cape, man. Look at that.
Yeah.
God, look at that. He's just
And that
swaddled. Dude, I love that. Yeah.
Good luck
So
on
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, keep your eye out for that Roxen Thor. It's a great. It's yeah. Ewing, as we all know, he pulls out all the stops. He takes your characters to a whole different level. If you read Immortal Hulk, my goodness.
You know, I recently read, if you have time for just a short aside,
Sure.
I recently read Captain America all the way from Tales of Suspense number 58, where he first appears in that title, and then that gets the title is changed to Captain America at issue 100. So I read from issue 58 all the way to Captain America 402. And at one point, he becomes an artist. He becomes a commercial artist and he's selling stuff, doing ads. Then he's like, why shouldn't I just be a comic book artist? So Steve Rogers is a comic book artist. Then he finds out that there's a Captain America comic book. And he says, well, this is all wrong. The character's motivations are wrong. And he's trying to rewrite it. And the writer gets upset with him and fires him.
God, that's awesome.
So speaking
See,
of being meta, there was a
meta.
period, I think it was right around the late 80s, where Steve Rogers, his day job was a comic book artist drawing the Captain America stories for Marvel Comics and arguing with the writer, well, Captain America would never do that. And the writer was like, yeah, just draw the pages, okay? I'm the writer, you're the artist, just draw the pages. So he got fired.
Dude, this is the mighty Marvel manner.
Right? Yeah. I thought that was
Poking
pretty
fun of
entertaining.
themselves, man. Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's good stuff. All right, where are we at? 10, 9, 8, 7. Here we go. Number 7 on the Bad Boy Nerds FOC top 10. They're back. The vampire variants are back,
Ooh.
and they
Oh,
are
man.
awesome.
Nice
So
ones.
all the books have vampire variants, but these are some of the more standout versions right here. And if you guys want to, if you're watching live, go ahead and blow your screen up
Wow.
and really look at that. Blow your screen up and let that really expand like I just did. Ghost Rider, the Tomb of Ghost Rider Final Vengeance. First of all, Ghost Rider Final Vengeance number 2 is going to be a hot, hot, hot book. It is the full introduction of the Hood as the new Ghost Rider, and he's going to wreck some shit. And I absolutely love this whole captioned illustration. That is
Right, yeah.
phenomenal. Yeah.
And the
Tomb of
trade
Spider Boy.
dress,
Oh
this,
God,
like,
yeah,
70s throwback trade dress. We actually on
yeah,
the Tomb of Spider-Boy, we actually get the full frame effect like they used to do back
yes,
in the 70s for a
absolutely.
period.
And then Spider Woman gets in on the fun. Look at her with
Man, that
old school
might be
Nick
my
Fury.
favorite one. These are all fire, but That one's really cool.
The Spider Woman. You like that?
Yeah, yeah. Adventure into Fear was
Thank you.
a title where, Man Thing was introduced, and
Yes.
I guess Howard the Duck and a few other important characters. And you know what's interesting? The title always read Adventure into Fear. The actual title in the indicia is just Fear. So technically, you gotta file it under F.
Yeah.
But
So they're saying
love
you're
it.
going to adventure into fear, and it's the Fear series.
Yeah, yeah, very
Absolutely.
cool.
See, you know your shit, man.
Well,
That's right.
I know the
Thanks for
older
that
stuff.
info. All right, that was number 7 this week, dude. We're already heating up. We're only at number 7, and
Right?
this list is already fire. So I talked to one of my local comic shops, and I said, "Hey, man, those vampire variants are going to be hitting soon. I need one of each." And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, man. I got you. Trust me. I figured you would like that. I got you covered. Don't worry. I'll put them in your box."
Pulling the whole thing.
Oh
How
God,
many are
yeah.
there gonna be? Do we know?
Every major title has a vampire variant.
Wow.
I just didn't want to make a whole mosaic of like 10 different covers.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Just
these are some
the
of the really
really
good standouts,
awesome
though. I
ones.
love those particular.
Did you
But
do the hip hop variant covers?
I was not even collecting comic books when the hip hop variants came out.
I wasn't either, but I went back and got a bunch of them.
I got my 3 favorites.
Oh?
I got the Jane Thor MF Doom.
Uh-huh.
I got finally got me a Miles Morales Nas.
Uh-huh.
And I got the what's my third one I got? Oh, for me, Luke Cage LL Cool J cover. I
Yeah.
got that one.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Those are my
Walking
3
with the Panther.
favorites. Yeah. Yeah, those are my 3 favorites. So I did get those. I didn't
There's like almost
realize
150 of them.
thank you. I just didn't know there were that many. Now,
It's insane.
if I was in a comic book game, those would have nailed the top 10. I would have multiple Miles Moraleses, just for the record.
Well, there's a few key books, and also there's a couple that are like 1 in 500 variants. Like if your goal was to track down, it's almost too big of a goal. It's too tough. And the reason I ask is because, I'm thinking on these vampire ones, if it's 20, 30, 50, that's something you can sink your teeth into. If it's 135, 150, it starts to be, you can't even display them. What are you going to do, right? So it
I,
has to be in a sweet spot, I think, to be something that really catches on.
there are some hip hop variants that popped up recently. I wasn't even aware they existed.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I got a few dozen of them.
Oh, okay. That's great, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there was a period of maybe 8 years in that middle 2000 odds. I just wasn't even collecting.
I wasn't
I ju-
either. I
yeah.
actually, funny enough, I found a bunch of them just in the dollar bins at half price books. Um, they're not all perfectly mint. And then what I did was I was hunting for just 9/8s, and I would just throw lowball bids like $25, $35, and I got a few of them. So yeah, I have a little collection of them.
Nice. I'm actually impressed with that. Check this out. Look who's making another appearance. John Tyler Christopher. JTC is back in action.
Negative
This is
space, baby.
Blood Hunt #1. We're going with the classic 70s blade.
Hmm.
JTC negative space. We
Very
got the
cool.
main cover in the top corner, and then we have the Delato. Delato's doing the connecting. All right, folks.
Wow.
Let me put this in the comments. Delato is doing connecting variants for Blood Hunt. So keep an eye on that. This is Blood Hunt #1. That's the first one. This looks pretty sweet. Delato does some great covers, and of course, he has one of the hottest modern books that's just in the stratosphere.
Well,
So
it was in the stratosphere. Now it's in the upper atmosphere.
okay, it's still up there.
Oh yeah, but
We
I
know which
mean,
book
what
we're
do we?
talking about.
Yeah, we know the book we're talking. So that book topped out at over 40 grand, right?
Yes.
I want to say a recent sale was like $12,000.
That was a 1 in 25, correct?
I think you're probably right.
God, I wish I was in the comic books back then. I would have been all over it. But I'm here now, folks, and that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
This is
So what
why
do we
we
know
do
about
this.
Blood Hunt?
We do this every week because Blood Hunt, because vampires are taking over the world.
So
And
this is a limited series that's going to tie all the vampire stories together. Is this the main storyline?
yeah,
What's going on?
it comes down to Blade and his daughter, basically. Like they're the saviors. Like everyone's getting infected. It's a big deal. Blood Hunt is a big deal. It's going to run all the way up to this summer, I believe, for the next 3 months or so, 4 months. Yeah, man,
You got
exciting
your
stuff.
Tomb of Dracula 11?
What's that?
You got your Tomb of Dracula 11?
Never got into it.
I've got a really nice copy.
All right, you need to show it off in the next episode.
All right, I'll
Write
bring
that
it next
down.
time. I'll bring it next time.
Good. So
It's
number
raw.
6, Blood Hunt number 1.
Yeah.
Hey, God, what's her name? Blade's daughter. One of my F.O.C. picks 2 years ago was the Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, her first
Yeah,
appearance. I remember.
that's
Yeah.
right. That was my number 1 pick that week. I was like, go get a free copy. It's too easy.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, we're doing a special. If you're listening, going to do a special Free Comic Book Day show coming up. I got some goodies for y'all. We're going to put out some information about some of the hottest books that you need to be checking out. As a matter of fact, Dr. Paul, did you know you can tell your local comic shop to pull free comic books for you, place it
Yeah.
in your box so you don't have to fight the crowd? Yeah, you can just say, "Hey, here's a list, pull one of each."
How
And then
cool
just
is
show
Free
up.
Comic Book Day?
Oh, I just hang out all day when it goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, coming
How
in at
many
number
stores do you
6.
hit on Free Comic Book Day?
How many do what?
How many stores do you hit on Free Comic Book Day?
Here in Austin, and anyone who's listening from Austin knows there's 4 stores that matter.
Mhm.
There's 2 south and 1 kind of central, and then 1 way up north. So if you just want to kind of just do that circuit, you'll be fine. You just go up I-35, 183, come back down, maybe come back down Mopac, come down Lamar, then come on back down, cross over to Lamar, and you can hit that whole circuit.
Yep.
Yeah. So those who know, if you know, you know.
That's the way to do it.
All right. About to crack the top 5 on this F.O.C. Top 10 Countdown show. Coming in at number 5,
Let's go.
we have Bayao, giant size, Incredible Hulk for 2024. Why? Now, I did this little inset. This is a special Hulk here in the left corner. That is not the full cover. It's the main cover with a little inset down there. I don't know who that character is. That might be a new character. I'm not sure. I thought it was Maestro. It's not Maestro. It's a Hulk I have yet to have seen before.
Yeah.
But this is going to debut a terrifying new villain. So, Hulk Annual last year introduced the mother monster creature, and that went at a nice multiple. An $8 book was selling for like $15 or $20. So it looks like they're trying to do something big again. And from what I've been reading, this is supposed to tie into the next major arc for the Incredible Hulk.
Cool. So the
Yeah.
inset you got the art from, is this an alternate cover or this is a spoiler from inside the book?
No. So the bigger picture is the main cover.
Uh-huh.
And then the little inset is a Stormbreaker variant.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
I was trying to find out as much as I can about these variant covers, and we're going to talk more about variants in the next book that's in the top 10. But, artists are usually tight-lipped about what the characters are because they don't want the specs to go through the roof. So I don't know. If someone else has more information, please let me know.
They've been doing Stormbreaker for a few years now. This is an ongoing, variant theme, right?
Right.
But if it's a first appearance, you want to have the cover that has the first appearance on the cover.
Yeah, the main cover usually sells. Usually, it's the main cover is the play, as we always say. But if it's a first appearance, such as one of my big top 10 number ones was the new champions variants. I did tell you guys, go get the new champions. Matter of fact, you could have bought the whole pack for a discounted price because new champions is about to blow up, as we are about to see in number 4 this week.
Before you move on, J-Dub,
Too late. What?
the Stormbreaker variants, those are open order. So you
Yes,
don't have to chase that
everything
one
on the
down.
show is open order. That's right. Everything.
Yep. You
Yeah,
don't
we
have
don't
to
do
chase them
exclusive
down,
here.
you just gotta
Everything's
put your
open order.
in.
That's right. Okay, so new champions was one of my hottest picks. If you follow me on Instagram, you know this. You saw them. And obviously, who took off? Maystorm. Maystorm. You could have, like me, had like 3 or 4 copies of that. Yes, I did flip a few, made my money back, and then some. So they are starting to introduce those characters. One of those characters is supposed to make their debut in this issue of Spider-Woman number, I believe this is Spider-Woman number 6. Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah, this is Spider-Woman number 6. Supposed to be a possible debut of one of those new champion characters. So, that being said, put that on your list. All right, Spider-Woman number 6. As Dr. Paul pointed out last week, there are publications, respectable and admired publications, who tell you everything that's hot after the fact. We here are the no FOMO zone. We tell you what's hot before the fact. Okay. So if you see a mad scramble for Spider-Woman number 6, you know why.
Very cool. I like the cover.
Yeah, and the big debut is actually Spider-Woman number 7. It's like on the cover. It's pretty obvious, but the cameo first appearance is going to be in this one. So I put that one at number 4. It's a book to check out.
Nice.
All right, here we go. Top 3. Do you have any inkling what's going on here, Dr. Paul? Going to blow this page up for myself.
Future Spawn.
Exactly, Mundo. Exactamundo. That's exactly what this is.
Like Spawn 2099.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Future Spawn, brand new Spawn character, Peter Cairn, takes place in the future, lives in a place called Rat City. I like the fact they just took Spawn out to just Rat City. Yeah. So totally new Spawn, future Spawn, call him what you want. Issue number 1, new character, new series, ongoing series. Right now, there's only one cover with artwork being released. So we'll see what pops up in the future. But yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Number 3. So that means number 2 and number 1 have to bring some heat, right?
This the first appearance of Spawn 2099?
Yeah, totally brand new. Yeah,
cool.
Brand new character. Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked around just to check if he popped up anywhere else, and I couldn't find anything on him. So
I mean, there's been so many variants over the years. It's hard to keep track of all of them unless you're a real hardcore fan.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, if anyone has any other information I'm not aware of, this is just a totally brand new series, brand new character introduction. So yeah, it's always worth it just to get that first series, first issue.
That seems like that's very solid, like no brainer there.
Like that meme. You know the guy I'm talking about. Yeah. All right, coming in at number 2, bringing that heat. Guys, if you haven't been reading this is actually an excellent series. And this introduces Ultimate Storm in this universe and Ultimate Killmonger. And here, Storm is a freedom fighter. Wait for it. Who has a tie-in with Ultimate X-Men and Maystorm.
Damn.
So in conjunction, you want to get Ultimate Black Panther number 3 in conjunction with Ultimate X-Men number 2 and number 3, which is the introduction story of the character Maystorm. So that's why I put this at number 2. This is going to be a hot book.
These covers are both sick.
First of all,
Boss Logic big.
First of all, I've been picking Boss Logic all year. And when I go to the store and grab it, it blows me away in real life. It almost has a holographic feel to it. Anyone who picked up issue
Wow.
number 2, that Boss Logic is almost like a holographic feel.
You know, I like it's a little bit Bill Sienkiewicz too, in that like they boil the character down and we don't care what else. Like, there's just some blurry stuff on the back left, right? Like it's not important to the story, right? They're not wasting any lines with their art.
Nope. Nope.
It's
Just art for the sake
incredible.
of art.
Wow.
Great art, great
I
story,
love both
strong
these.
tie-in. Yeah, I wanted to go ahead and showcase them both. Both open order. They're not even ratios. This is the main cover. Just tell your local comic shop you want the Boss Logic variant. Voila. Done
Mhm.
deal. All right, let's do it. Let's do this the right way. Here we go. Coming in at number 1. You know I got to get it. Here we go. Number 1 this week on Bad Boy Nerds F.O.C. Top 10. Of course. Come on. Of course. Of course. Of course. Dude, this book is so
What?
hot. This book is
What?
so hot.
Look at
What
that.
else can you say?
Well, I was actually just about to say, I don't know what it could be that's better than this Ultimate Black Panther, but this is this is pretty insane.
Wait a minute. You was wondering what could possibly top Ultimate Black Panther. And well,
Yeah,
shut my mouth.
look at this.
Dude. So I probably haven't been more excited about a single issue since Wolverine 36. When I
Mm-hmm.
back last year in July, when I was telling people there's only 3 books to worry about, and here's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book that you want on your list.
Wow.
This is a killer.
Look at
Open
look
order
at
main
cover
cover.
A. Yeah, look at cover A. I mean,
Dude, nothing more needs to be said, but
uh,
Jeff Duwally did a great 1-in-25 ratio. I'm hunting that bad boy down.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is so hood.
Yeah,
I'm
look at the
so
hood.
hood.
Actually, I mean, obviously, you've got so many great graphic elements with the Ghost Rider. The
Oh God,
skull, the
yeah.
fire, the black leather, the studs, all the stuff, right?
Oh my God.
But throw the red hood in, how much
Yes.
better does it get?
Dude, this is
This
sick,
is
man.
this is crazy. This is
This
some
is sick. And he's got his
Darth Maul
Glocks.
stuff.
He's got his Glocks that form one big Glock,
Isn't that
one Def
nuts?
Glock.
I was just looking at it going like he's got mirror image slides. I don't think they make them that way, but you gotta take some artistic license, or maybe they do make them that way.
I'm pretty sure you can get anything made that way.
Yeah.
And when you're the hood, you can absolutely do what the fuck you want. God,
That
this is
is
great. No,
bananas.
I'm actually very excited for this. Like I said, I picked up multiples of today's or this week's Final Vengeance. And yeah, this heavy pre-order for me. I'll probably get a few copies. Again, I just make the list. I don't know how the market's going to react. But this is just
You
Jesus Christ. I mean,
you just beat me.
The hood. We were talking about Marvel Max earlier. Those hood prices, number one, or they're up there,
Yeah,
dude.
they gotta be. That
Yeah,
again, that wasn't super highly distributed. It's never been reprinted. Can't find it anywhere else.
right.
Um, and we've known about it for a long time. Like that's been a spec book for
Yeah.
half a decade at least. I think you should just get 25 of cover A and unlock your own 1-in-25.
Usually, what I do, and I'm giving away
You're gonna
my
be able to flip them.
yeah. Anyone who watches this, all right. So congratulations, you're here watching this. Normally, what I do, Dr. Paul, is I go to my store. I ask them, how many do you plan on getting? All right, X amount. Are you
Mhm.
falling short? I'll make up the difference. What you're only ordering 20? All right, order 25. I'll take 5. Give me the
Yep.
1-in-25 at retail. And that usually works.
Mhm.
That usually works. Guys, if you're watching this show and if you've been watching this show for three seasons now, I've been telling you guys, you got to work with your local comic shops. Talk
Mhm.
to them, let them know what you plan on doing, let them know you're trying to get certain covers, send them a list. They actually love that. They love
Mhm.
having dedicated customers.
It's like anything, anywhere, but especially in our comic realm. You take care of them, they'll take care of you. It's all about community.
Oh man, even if it's nothing more than just free bags and boards. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
That's
right. So,
awesome.
oh God, great list. Yeah. You know, when
List
I do the list and when I look at it live, I'm like, ooh, damn, that was good.
the list is literally fire.
Awesome, man. All right. Favorite part. Let's go down, starting number 10 and go through it again.
Let's do it. Run them back.
All right. We got to do this the right way. Here we go. Do, 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 do. I really need to get a soundboard, but fuck it. All right. Here we go. Coming in at number 10, Spectacular Spider-Man number 2, the 1 in 25 variant. I love the webbing. I love the two together. I think it's awesome. Number 9, Papa Duke, part of the Knight of Cadillac's story series universe, Scout Comics. Optioned. They're going full steam ahead. They're going to turn this into a movie/TV streaming series. Number 8, Roxxon Thor, part of the Immortal Thor adjacent meta universe. It's just, you just got to read it. It's madness. It had to make the top 10. Oh, technical first appearance of Roxxon Thor. Number 7, all the vampire variants are phenomenal. Grab you some. Number 6, Blood Hunt number 1. JTC is back. Old school Blade. Delato is doing connecting variants. Get those Delato connectings. Can't wait to see that finished mural. Giant Size Hawk 2024 is supposed to introduce a terrifying new villain who's said to affect the Hawk going forward. Put that on your radar. New Champions Hero or Heroes is going to make a first debut appearance in Spider-Woman number 6. So she's number 4 on this list. Rat City, aka Spawn 2029. Ultimate
Sorry.
Black Panther number 3 came in at number 2. It is the debut of Ultimate Storm, the Freedom Fighter,
Wow.
Ultimate Killmonger. The boss logic is sick. Open
Those,
Order.
those are both
And
insane.
this character ties in to Ultimate X-Men. She is the inspiration for Maystorm. And of course, what else can be said? Jesus Christ. Put your order in, folks. Don't be FUBAR and don't be FOMO. Put your order in. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance number 2. There it is.
Incredible list.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a list.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
There were 4 books that they were there, then they weren't.
Yeah.
Came down to those 10. We are going to do a special free comic book day show coming up sometime in
Yeah.
April. So that's going to happen.
That's important.
Yeah, crushing it big. Say, yeah, that's how he's beginning. Yeah, that's the way to do it. If it's a big one, if it's a big launch, like a number 1 new series launch, just get 4 or 5 copies and they'll toss you that one. They usually just toss it to you at retail. It's the way to do it. Yeah, man. Dr. Paul, your Instagram is where's it at? What's going on with your brand there?
Well, when we did our live show, I logged into StreamYard differently. So
Ah. All right. Well, look, I'm gonna do you a
you know
solid.
where to
Hang
find
on.
me. It's Paul.Kosnick. It's Liberty Hill Comics. You can find me. I'm all over.
You
The
can
same
find
way.
me.
I'm the same on all the socials.
Yeah, but we're going to go ahead and spoon feed it to him because why not? Because we can. Here you are right here. This is the man right here. Go check out his page, Instagram. Be one of his 1,700 and bump followers. All right. He's got a great page. PhD in comicology. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those. Look at those guns.
Yeah.
What the hell? What is that?
Oh my gosh, how did that end up there?
There it is.
I
Yeah,
think
man.
I have some editing to do of my
And then obviously me, bad boy nerd, woefully stuck under 1,000 for the amount of information I put out and the
That's
value of
criminal.
the information. I just can't crack 1,000.
That's
But you
criminal.
can all of the lists, every last one of them. They all have the dates, so you can go by dates. You can look at all my previous picks. The
That's
entire
so
there,
cool.
look at that. Oh, there's that Colossus. We showed it at the beginning. This was a hot week. This particular week. Guma, look at that.
Wow.
Look at Soza Micah. That came out, Dylan Dog. There it is, Adam Hughes. I got it. There it is. Second printing. Got it. There it is. Got it. There it is. Look at that. The whole fucking top 10 and then Beneath the Trees. But yeah, if you want to look at the history of all my so yeah, hopefully some of the people watching will hear from you on Instagram. You got anything else?
I really appreciate you sharing the list with all of us. I appreciate you having me here as always. It's great to see you.
Yeah, hey, I'm serious. I'm going to try to do some things behind the scenes. If I can get Hannah Rose May, she's so cute and
Tag
she's
them
just
all.
awesome, man. She's just
Tag them
awesome.
all. Keep asking.
It's
Wish I
just a
could tell you
plus
no.
that she's hot. She's very talented. She wrote one of my favorite comic books, and she
That's
was on
cool.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Get it. Make it happen.
We got to try to get her. We got to try to get Mr. Rodney Barnes. You ever watch the Doombox? Boom, Jesus Christ! You ever watch the Boondocks cartoon ever?
Oh yeah.
He was the executive producer on that show.
Really?
Yeah, this guy's literally Rodney Barnes is like the Black Forrest Gump. He's been everywhere. He knows everybody.
Oh
He's all
wow.
throughout history.
Cool. Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
quote any of it anymore. No, I'll get canceled. But used to
yeah.
quote it.
Don't, we're not even going to touch that. We're not touching it. All right, y'all. Take care. Thanks for hanging out with us live.
Take care, y'all.
Yeah.